Welcome to the Nest Show, the podcast that brings you insights into the crypto market, trading and investment experiences, and what we're looking forward to as we navigate the space together. Before we get started with the show, I want to thank our friends and sponsors over at Prime XBT, where many of our listeners have already signed up to trade by visiting the birbnest.com/PrimeXBT. Prime XBT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Users may trade cryptocurrencies, Forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Prime XBT gives experienced traders up to 100x leverage to multiply their capital while also providing users with multiple order types, low trading fees, and ultra high liquidity to equip them with a one-of-a-kind trading experience. Registration does not require any user information, so visit the link below and start trading on Prime XBT in minutes. And now for the show. What the Nest Show is. This is a podcast brought to you by the Birb Nest community, an independent crypto and Forex-centered trading community built to sharpen each other in capturing opportunities in the markets while protecting capital along the way. What this is not. Trading advice. We are not financial advisors, and you should not regard any information here or in the Nest Club as financial advice. You should always consult a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of the Nest Show. This is a very special day for the Nest, for me, for myself, for Adrian, because we are hosting an amazing, truly inspiring guest, Mike SADOWSKI.
Wow, we're going to have an aspiring guest? when is he connecting?
Oh, he's already joined, man. You don't really need to pretend.
It's the best. It's always best to start with a really cheesy sense of humor.
Yeah, I love it. That's all me, man. I'm very honored to be hosting Mike SADOWSKI
likewise.
of BRAND24.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
CEO and founder of BRAND24, one of the most reputable and the greatest companies in my home country of Poland. I'm truly honored to have you today, Mike. How is it going?
Much appreciated, man. Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah. How is it going? Like, what's good? What's new?
All good. It's busy. We are working on a completely new version of our product. So just for people who are not familiar with Brand24, which would be probably most of the audience, we do media monitoring. We offer a media monitoring tool. So whenever whoever talks about any brand, any company out there, whether this is a crypto, related company, or any brand, really, we collect all the information. We analyze the information. We alert you whenever your company or the company that you observe gets mentioned. So typically, this tool is used by PR professionals, but also we have a lot of investors in our portfolio using Brand24 to track all the latest, all the greatest regarding the companies that they invest in or consider investing.
Yeah, I think this is a very good, just in a sense of what you're saying, for what you're doing in Brand24. And not many of you viewers and all the people who are watching this show and be it or listening, on the podcast, on the Spotify or on other platforms. I'm truly, again, I want to emphasize that so much right now that Mike has been such an great inspiration to me. Since the day I actually noticed him on the stage on a great event named InfoShare. It was a great, conference held in Gdańsk, in the northern city of the Baltic Sea of Poland. And the moment I saw Mike, I mean, my eyes go wide open, my jaw dropped to my knees. I was so damn taken by all that you were saying.
A lot of people who are listening to this as a podcast will be so disappointed once they see me, my photo.
No way.
They're right now. They're expecting Ryan Gosling or something, running startup.
No way, man. I mean, you're too kind, and you are too humble for that.
I'm too.
But yeah, guys, I mean, yeah.
But it's all about the white balance for the camera.
So am I, man. So am I. That's how we live in Poland. Yeah, but guys, again, Mike, to many people, perhaps foreign, too many foreigners, too many people abroad Poland. Mike as a person, I think he brings some associations. I mean, you might have heard his name in the past, and it wouldn't be really strange or anything, because again, Mike is one of the most reputable in like business owners, founders, managers, content, just creators in Poland, and he's been such a great inspiration to me. Again, so you have already
Much appreciated.
briefly, no worries. You have already briefly, brought a quick, I would say, summary, just brief, for the people, brief understanding, of what Brand24 is really, capable of doing, what you guys are really, busy during your days. But I definitely want to very quickly touch upon like what makes you as Brand24 kind of like different, from
makes sense.
your competitors, right?
Yeah. So when we started this company almost 10 years ago, the media marketing industry was very, I would say, it lacked companies that would provide great quality for affordable price. So this was, you could either use very expensive media monitoring tools that had very good quality, that costed thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, or you had free tools like Google Alerts that provided questionable, quality data, but they were free. So yeah, that's always a good thing. So we thought that there's a huge gap between the price and quality, and we decided to fill the gap with a product that would be automated, that wouldn't have some sort of a consultants, and through automation and through leveraging the new technology for databases, like there's more and more open source popular database systems like Mongo. We could offer the same quality as the big guys, but for a price of two cappuccinos in New York. So
Starbucks, yeah.
So around 50 to $100 a month subscription. So this is a software as a service. So it's you pay subscription on monthly basis. If you pay for the product, you get access. If you stop paying for the product, you stop getting access. So this is our business model. We have thousands of clients from over 120 countries. We are fully based in Poland. So this is pretty unique, because there's not that many software as a service companies who are working from Poland and still manage to build international portfolio. And the top applications for a product are obviously managing your online reputation. So once you track brands, once you track all public mentions for a specific brand, company, or product, you get to know the clients. You get to keep track of the reputation. You can manage reputation. You can prevent PR crisis. You get additional metrics that can help you to measure PR or marketing efforts. And for one of the major target groups within our portfolio, which would be investors, you can also track not only your own brand, but the companies that you either invested in or you are considering investment, just to stay on top of all the conversation regarding the companies, and to maybe act early if there's something good or bad happening within the companies.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. And I think you touched on very, very important and very intriguing topic to me personally, but again to many people, I guess, as well.
Right.
Because you are running, just as you said, like the full company is based in Poland. Like there is no other, I guess, subsidiaries or just, small companies that are kind of like connected with Brand24, which is like, excuse the language, but this is fucking impressive to me, right?
Thanks. We do have a proxy entity with in US, but it's only incorporated in US, but we don't hire anyone outside Poland. That's
I know a story about this.
Yeah. I mean, we had to do that because when we started a global business in 2014, one of the most popular payment providers, Stripe, wouldn't work with the European companies, so we had to be incorporated in the US. So we set up the let's say the subsidiary in
Yeah.
US just to be able to process payments for Stripe. Right now, you can have a Stripe account from Europe, so that's
Yeah.
not the issue.
Yeah, I'm kind of like asking, do I, there are two reasons for that. One, because again, I'm familiar with the funny story from the very beginnings of yours, that you were kind of like, you just got the company registered in the US, and all of a sudden you go like a client from US, and you were based in Poland, right? Could you expand it a bit more on that?
Yeah, I mean, once we incorporated in US, so in 2014 we were super scared to be presenting ourselves as a Polish company. We thought that nobody in the US would ever buy things from a Polish company. This was obviously wrong. This was probably more about our lack of knowledge about the US market, plus maybe our own lack of self-esteem. It's really hard to imagine yourself running a global business, working with clients from over 120 countries, from Wrocław in Poland. That seems pretty surreal. So this is why this is one of the reasons that we decided to have to incorporate in US as well, to have a subsidiary in the US. But it really led to some funny situations when clients were like, hey, I'm in New York. I'm on Fifth Avenue, and this I saw that it's pretty close to your office. Any chance we can talk in person? And I obviously had never visited our the location that we are incorporated in personally. There's the address is either a law firm that helps with incorporation in US, or a virtual PO box. so there's no really option to meet a client. I remember myself checking in Google Street View, how does the actual address look like, so I can like navigate. Yeah, right. It's you pass the hot dog booth and 50 feet on the right you have our office. So this led to some funny situations, and apparently we were so wrong to think that people wouldn't buy from a Polish company. We see over past years, right now 65% of our revenue comes from outside Poland. So we see that companies, and the US plus Canada, UK, and Australia are the biggest markets, because and it seems like they don't mind buying from a Polish company. So that wasn't the issue.
But eventually, did you manage to get this client on board?
I don't remember, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, there were so many funny situations regarding like the time zones, etc. Sometimes we get a phone call from a client, or they connect with us via email, and they ask. And at the early stages, when I was running, a customer success team ourselves, right now we have 50 people, so we have teams to manage this. But at the early stage, I was the only one who was managing the client, specifically within the global version. And I remember, negotiating one of our first clients for one of our biggest subscription from the not sure it's the English word for it, like broomstick closet at the hotel where we had integration. So we had integration party, and there was this client who really wanted to talk with someone over the phone, and the music was so loud that the only place that had a resemblance of some quiet spot to be able to talk to client in a good way, was a broomstick closet. And like it felt so surreal to talk to some client from Florida, some really big brand from Florida, who and discuss like the configuration for media marketing from a broomstick closet. So yeah, I mean, but from the hindsight, the stories like this, I'm sure that any entrepreneur has stories like this. It's always very hectic until you make it, until you get to your first 1 million in revenue, and you can hire a team and maybe make things more professional.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying, and I think this is very interesting that you're saying that many companies, would have these sort of like experiences. But the truth is, like, I would agree with that only partially, only to an extent. For us, the Nest being the startup again since 2017, so we are way younger than you are in Brand24. So you are like this huge brand that I've always admired and looked up to. Yeah, but I mean, I think this very like this type of experiences, when everything is so rushed, when everything is just kind of like managed on the spot, right? Mm-hmm. When you're not really having like a preparation, I would say, plan in your like in advance, but you're just acting, right? This dynamics. I think this is extremely typical and typical only to startups, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You hear a lot about the people who are. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look for a cool quote that no supports this. Yeah, it feels like you hear a lot of companies like Tesla, like huge companies that still have this form of chaos. No, I feel like it's typical when you're growing fast, when you're aiming big, and you're trying to build something meaningful in a way. Obviously, there's always a trade-off. There's always a trade-off between having everything under some sort of a process and just embracing the chaos. I always say that it's to the new people within the organization that you should embrace chaos because we are trying to build something great here. We are trying to build something meaningful, and to do that, it's oftentimes difficult to have procedures for everything. So I was looking for this quote. Not sure if this is real, but it seems like a real quote. It might be pretty offensive towards people who really hate chaos. So I really don't want to.
Go on, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I don't want to get some enemies, but Albert Einstein said that order is for idiots. Genius can handle chaos. So, yeah. And I feel like it's maybe a little bit over the edge, but there is truth in it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Don't worry. Kind of like two funny notes. One of them. Is when you talked about Elon Musk. I mean, there was some time not so long ago that he actually stole my fucking meme that I posted on Twitter one time. He
Elon
literally,
Musk.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
He liked a couple of my tweets. I was doing like crypto Twitter space itself and my, I guess, content itself that I just generate. It oftentimes would include some sort of like different memes, right? Mm-hmm. No matter you like it or not, but memes are like very popular means I would say getting traffic.
I'm 100% for memes. I mean, we use memes. We use our own animated GIFs within our communication with clients. I feel like this can be another differentiator when whatever business you're running. If you stand out in terms of communication, if you communicate in a way that makes you feel like makes you seem like a human rather than just a logo, just some another brand, that can be super beneficial towards revenue, sales, and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that your being here is enough of an amazing confirmation that, again, being able to talk to you, this is kind of like providing already the evidence for how amazing Brand24 is, because their CEO, like you, Mike, are humble, I would say, enough. Um, you're really just a good guy, right? And that's what it is all about. And that's what it is all about.
It's all smoke and mirrors. After I leave the company, I overuse red lights. I'm a really bad person. No, but I really appreciate you saying that. I know that for a lot of people, it seems like they are good. I'm just watching the TV show called The Boys on Amazon Prime. It's about superheroes that have a really amazing PR, but they are really bad. They're really bad people, right? Doing some really bad stuff, and it feels like we live in a day where it's difficult just to say which people, which celebrities, which influencers are only seem good, only care about their PR, and which people are really good, are genuinely good. And I really try hard to be the latter, because maybe that sounds very naive, but I really like the money is not the biggest drive for me. The reputation, I would say, is, and just being able to sleep well at night, being like a good guy, contributing, and etc. So it means a lot that you feel like I'm one of the good guys.
Yes, you are, Mike. Yes, you are.
That's what I prefer to get on my grave. He was one of the good guys, and I told you I felt sick somewhere down there.
Yeah, no worries. I get it. And this is, guys, just a pure confirmation that Mike is such a great person. And you mentioned, you very slightly touch upon your kind of like a work-life balance, right? Because you mentioned the sleep, and sleep is actually very demanded, I would say, activity for me.
I hate it.
Rarely ever get it. I rarely ever get it.
Hate it. I hate it. I maybe the wrong word. I love to sleep, but I hate that I need to go to sleep to feel rested, because I spend 7 to 8 hours asleep every day, and it kills me, because it's so much time I could use for whatever, like so many cool things to do these days, and I get to sleep. So yeah, it's very confusing, because I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah, and I could learn a lot from you, because my average time of sleeping is like fucking 4 or 5 hours past couple of months. I'm terrible. I suck at work-life balance so much, so that I can only just learn from you. Like, what's your secret?
You are very well spoken and very sharp for a person that sleeps 3 to 4 hours a day. If I were to sleep 3 hours a day, we would still be on the interview, or like introduction part.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, but on my end, it's truly terrible, because I feel in my bones, although I'm 27, I'm like, I'm fucking young if you look at it this way. I mean, I already have a long beard, even longer, like a hairline. My hairline is like looking so amazing, It's bald from here, down to the bottom, and it comes that my hair kind of like did come out of stress, I guess. One day when I was actually like even before 20, so it was it was a very difficult time for me. Yeah, I mean, it was a very difficult time for me. I couldn't really understand why that was happening, right? I guess this kind of like, just originates, I would say, from my genetics to a bit, I guess, from my genes. But, the work-life balance, again, so I kind of like want to repeat the question. What's your secret to keeping your work-life balance at such a great form?
That's a difficult question. I get it. I guess get this question a lot because I managed to squeeze in working at Brand24, which is my passion. You know, family. I have 2 kids and a wonderful wife. I have. I do a lot of photography. I have a band, a rock band. So yeah, I do get a lot of questions. So, but I really don't feel like I'm doing anything. I'm doing anything special. I guess I spent a little time on Netflix or a little time playing video games. Although I do play video games, I do play FIFA and
Which
Battlefront.
ones? Which ones?
I do play FIFA and Battlefront.
With
Actually,
Liverpool as your team, right?
Obviously, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I have time to watch every game from Liverpool still.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm shit at everything, and I only have one skill of being able to sell my shit skills as pretty good skills, and that's why I seem like I have everything under control, or like I managed to do so much. Or I maybe another thing, or maybe this is a combination of the things that I'm always very passionate about optimizing everything in my life. So like leveraging this extra time I spend in the traffic jam by listening to podcasts and maybe writing some audio notes that allow me to just squeeze in more within my day. So like there's no wasted moment in throughout my day. Maybe that's what a part of the secret, I guess.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I mean, as far as I'm familiar with your, I would say, kind of like a background history, you're an engineer, right? Aren't you?
Yeah. I have a master's degree in software engineering.
Exactly. So, you know, I am also an engineer, although it's not, you know, software engineering, but more of a chemical technology, right? But you said a very important word that I'm also trying to also embed in what I'm doing, you know, which is the optimizing, which is keeping things at an optimal level, optimized level. And I believe, you know, the main part that I kind of like, you know, came out with leaving, you know, my university, Warsaw University of Technology, Polytechnics of Warsaw.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, likewise for yours. And the one thing that I left, you know, this university with was the skill of optimizing, like keeping things better and better and improving and searching for better solutions. And that's what I think makes you such a great and such a successful person that you are, you know, with your with your entire, like, how old are you? You're not 20.
I'm 38, man. That's like
you're 38.
I could be your dad.
But you're not telling me you look
you never know.
Yeah, it's like Star Wars, you know. It feels like Star Wars again.
Birb, but I'm your father.
Yeah. Just past couple months have been like extremely crazy if you think about it. Like, there was you know, the COVID that I definitely want to touch upon it right in a second. But before that, like all the past, I would say like couple of months, past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Guys, you were really struggling a lot. There were many obstacles, you know, for Brand24, including, you know, you're having a ban on Facebook and on Instagram, which was like,
I was problematic.
When I saw that, I was wrecked. I couldn't understand what happened. I mean, you guys didn't violate anything. Like, what the fuck happened back then?
Make 2 of us. So yeah, it was it was this story on one of the popular media outlets in US talking about the tools that used Facebook data within their platforms, and obviously Facebook and Instagram are meaningful sources of data for any media monitoring tool. You know, tracking your fan page or any fan page really, or tracking some hashtag on Instagram is makes a lot of sense for a lot of companies. And yeah, the article listed like a dozen tools that may or may not overuse the data access. And with Brand24, it was all about using avatars that for public Instagram profiles that were not available via API. So apparently, one of the like third-party providers, data providers that we used, had this avatars. This seemed completely, perfect with the Facebook terms of service, but apparently it was not. So we got blocked. We got all the company profiles, all myself, my own personal profiles got blocked. And yeah, we had to go through a 6 months audit, just to
6 months audit.
Yeah, it took 6 months to
Jesus
get
Christ.
pretty much confirm that it's all good, and we got restored, and right now it's all we got all the profiles back and all the data access back. But for the 6 months, it felt it was difficult because for some of our clients this was a substantial channel for monitoring. This was personally difficult for me because Facebook and Instagram were my major social media outlets, and so just within one day I went from being like, just like you said, quite reputable person locally to some sort of a cheat that got blocked by Facebook. So this was difficult, and probably even more that it seemed. There were times when I just wanted to curl in the corner and literally cry because there was so many things to attend. But these things can, I know it sounds like a cliche, but these things can make you stronger, and they did. And luckily we now grow again. We managed to to sell over 1,000 accounts, over 1,000 new subscriptions without Facebook and Instagram data, which also was pretty cool for us because we kind of we proved that this product is much more valuable than just one source, than one channel like Facebook. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm super happy that this seems like a super valuable experience and pretty unique experience as well, because I don't know any other or maybe one other entrepreneur out there that went through a similar experience. And we are back to growth, both in monthly revenue and number of active clients. We managed to keep over 3,000 clients despite this 6 months of audit. So all good right now, but it was a difficult time, both on the company level and for me personally, because for example, my Instagram account is totally devoted to photography, totally not related.
And this is so amazing, guys. I mean, make sure guys, I double dare, you cannot miss how amazing photographies are shared on Mike's profile. We're going to make sure to attach the link in the description.
Thanks, man.
I swear to God, I mean, listed on just featured on top, just like how do you call that? Like some really good, reputable photography newspapers, right? I'm not a professional like photographer.
Yeah, I got some of the photos, were shared by National Geographic. Some of them won prestigious award photography competitions, but still, there's plenty of more. Again, it feels like I'm good in selling the photos, like maybe presenting the photos rather than and promoting the photos rather than making them. So I would say that I'm maybe one of the good marketers across photographers. I wouldn't say I'm a good photographer, but yeah.
Okay. Come on. I mean, goes without saying, I'm a big fan. I actually recently shared one of your pictures, of the actual, like, just stars in the night on the
Hmm.
sky. I mean, it was so amazing and so
Yeah, I
impressive.
love the night photography because it's so quiet. There's
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
else, typically, apart from the animals. And it's a good meditation as well. I tend to have the best ideas for new features or for new ways to approach to clients or to get clients um, uh, during the time when it's when I'm shooting photos.
Yeah, that's truly amazing and truly inspiring. Again, you see, guys, CEOs of top companies in Poland still can't really afford time to go and enjoy their passions. I'm a big fan of that. That's really
What's the
amazing.
point? What's the point if I don't if I can make time for like family or for other passions? Still, I mean, like Brand24 is not really a job because if I had billions of dollars, I would still do the same thing because I love
It's
creating
passion.
creating a company. Uh, but still, there are other things in life, and what's the point of working hard if you cannot leverage this or cannot use this what you gain by running a company, by working hard to travel across the world or just do things that you or other things that you love. It feels like we are always chasing this, like I'm always it used to be like I was always telling myself, Mike, it's only a few months or like only few next month or only few years that you'll work hard, and then you'll do everything you ever dreamed of because you'll have resources to do that, etc. But maybe the time when right now is the best time you'll ever have. Maybe there's something in the future that will spoil all the fun, and so you better grab the day, as they say, and just not wait for this elusive moment in the future that
Mhm.
okay, you'll say like, okay, right now I'm starting to have fun because it feels like this is the best time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty philosophical for
Yeah, it does sound to me that you are really believing in the philosophy of living YOLO. Like you only
YOLO.
live
Yeah, yeah,
once, right?
100%,
Crazy. Yeah, but very good,
100%.
very good, very good. And you were actually again touched upon you're touching upon so many important topics that I wish we had much more
Yeah,
time
it's
to
pretty
discuss as
chaotic,
well.
but as we discussed, I'm sure
No
that
worries.
a lot of audience also prefers chaos.
Yeah, we all prefer chaos for sure. But I wanted to very quickly touch, just upon refer to what you said about just being able to wait for the reward, right? This is
Mhm.
something that we call a delayed gratification, and I would say from the investing point of view as well, and as just I would say business point of view that also provides you business is for some sort of like an investment itself. It provides you with
Right.
some sort of ROI, right? So if you are a businessman, you're also an investor in your own time in your own
Oh
business.
yeah,
And
100%. Every time I get asked to invest in some sort of a startup, I'm saying that sorry, I already invested all my resources in Brand24.
yeah, that's very good. That's very good. And that's actually what Warren Buffett, the wealthiest investor, on the planet right now,
Sure.
kind of like also shares similar view for. He I watched some kind of like in interviews, or should I say like shows, featuring Warren Buffett. And as far as I know, and as far as I understood, he would do some sort of like different tests, to the investors that were, just kind of like
Right.
interested to work with him, and he would test them with regards to delayed gratification skill.
Hmm.
This is a skill you can learn that right over the time, and he would only take, this can be referred as this marshmallow test, that
Hmm.
but not like the project management marshmallow test that you're building the tower of marshmallows, but more like that you let's say you are having two kids in a room, right? And there's a table, and on the
Easy to
table there's a
imagine.
plate. Oh yeah, and there is a table, with a plate on, and on the plate you're having like one marshmallow, right? And the person, just says the experimenter or whoever you name it, just says that to the girl, to the boy, to the children, whatever, that you can either have and eat one marshmallow right now, or you can wait, let's say, a couple of minutes and eat two, right?
Right.
And most of the people would actually, just take and grab one right away instantly to just feed their own, like a temporary, just demand, right? Versus those who actually want to prefer, want to get more, with just waiting a bit more again. So, and Warren Buffett, again, has such a strict rules that he would literally talk only to the people that would just, just perform positively. I would say this sort of like a test, not perhaps with the clothes being closed in a room, but in some other, in
Yeah,
some sort of
probably a good
test.
example, because the first time I've actually mm, got to see some sort of a benefits from like financial benefits from running Brand24 for almost 10 years now was around 7 years into running a company when we IPO'd in Poland, and I sold 1% of my shares just to pay out the mortgage, or most of the
Yeah,
mortgage, because there's still some left. And yeah, so like imagine 7 years after, while we are constantly brainwashed about this quick return, right? The
exactly.
best stories that are, or the most popular stories that are out there are the stories where the things are happening fast. Like, he was a student yesterday, today he's like a millionaire, right? And
Yeah,
because it gets clicks, but
yeah.
that's not really truth. And I feel like one of the things that we have to educate is that running a business, or probably being a successful investor, is takes time, and it's all about long term, rather than being able to cash out after a year or a few months of even hard work.
Okay. Frankly, you know, um, I think again, this is just confirmation that how important the delayed gratification skill is. Again, many people will not really believe that this is a skill, that this is something that you can learn, but in fact, you can train your patience. And as you were saying, many people actually, just fail at most of their, I would say, activities and goals because they're impatient. Like whatever strategy you're realizing, there needs to be, of course, like a just defined goals. You go with the
Right.
smart rules, specific, measurable, and so on and so forth, or any other modules and like models and formulas. But again, the moment that you are getting impatient, actually disrupts your entire strategy. It kind of like disconnects
Right.
you from the goal that you want to reach. And
100%.
this refers not only to running a business. I've experienced that many times in my own, I would say, career, no matter how short it is when compared to yours. But this, as I said, directly kind of like corresponds with the investing part, right?
Right.
And many of our audience are actually very deep into investing, especially in cryptocurrency, but also in regular stocks, other commodities, gold, silver, and so
Right.
on and so forth. And because Brand24 is a publicly traded company, it's a listed company on was it New Connect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're listed on New Connect. Like, what are the listings? Is it the only one, or you listed anywhere else as well?
No, we are only listed on New Connect, which is like a subdivision of the Warsaw Stock Exchange.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So again, very well done.
Mhm.
Very well done. I can remember actually reading the news. It wasn't in 2018.
It was January 2018, but
Yeah.
we had a pre-IPO financing in late 2017, and then we officially IPO'd or IPO is probably a bad name for it, because we didn't have actual initial public offering, because we were not raising money from public, but the company debuted on stock exchange in January 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting, if you ask me. And before I let you go, because you've been so generous with your time already. I mean, there's so many things I want to
Come on, man.
ask
I'm
you.
happy to be here. I mean, I, I'll be getting back to work several inches taller.
Okay.
With all your kind words. So
Oh yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. No. Thank you, Mike. But again, before I let you go, that's not the moment yet. So guys, stay patient with us. But I truly want to understand, um, the fact of like how hard is it to run a company that is publicly listed in Poland, right? With Polish regulations, with European regulations. Honestly, I cannot really imagine that as of now, right? On my end.
Right.
So I'm so much looking forward to hear like your opinion, your opinions, your ideas, like how you're guys getting alive even.
Yeah, sure. So it's easier than you would imagine. It's like there's not that much bureaucracy related to stock exchange. For some of the startups out there, it might actually make things easier. I know some of the startups that have more demands in terms of reporting from their investors than stock exchange pushes you to have. So to some extent, it might be even easier to run a company publicly traded, specifically when it's going well within the company. The problem starts when the company is not going too well, or even despite company doing well, the stock is not, is going down. For example, the stock price is going down. So typically, when you are publicly traded, and once you become once you gain enough popularity within investors, um, uh, you typically get exposure within groups of people who are not that skilled with investment. So they are not experts in investment. They've probably watched some sort of a YouTube tutorial that from somebody who said that you can become millionaire in 3 days with a passive income by investing in Tesla and some other stuff. and they feel cheated when they lose money, and typically they don't blame themselves. They would
blame
typically blame the management for the company that they've invested in. So
let's be frank, they blame you for sure.
Yeah. So whenever the stock goes down, regardless what we do, regardless if we are growing or not growing, we only had the one period when we weren't growing because of the Facebook, but all the other times we grow constantly, right? So regardless if we grow or not, when the stock goes down, I tend to get people who are, tagging me on Twitter, message boards, whatever, being like, "Hey, SADOWSKI, get to work because I lost money because of you."
Yeah.
So that's obviously difficult, specifically when you are an emphatic person such as myself. We discussed this, I think, before. So yeah, that's difficult. And when the company is big enough, every company will go for some ups and downs on the stock and on the stock price, and so you are destined to have this sort of conversations with people, typically anonymous people, who are blaming you for losing their money,
especially those who are brave on the internet, right?
Yeah, and this is obviously tough because I to some extent I do feel responsible, because I would prefer to have a case where people get rich because of my company, and not lose money because of it. But you obviously have to be aware that the stock price is obviously has a lot to do with the company results, but at times it has nothing to do with the results. It has only to do with the mood, some external factors, etc. So this is the most difficult part for me of running a company that's publicly traded. Also, during the difficult time, if your company is going for some sort of a crisis, it's much more difficult to manage the communication, because you essentially have to consult everything you say with the experts from the that know what you can say to which people. So it's not some sort of
But you mean the investors or like PR consultants?
anyone really, but yeah, like not investors, but like stock exchange communication consultants. You have to consult with them what you can say to your employees, what you can say to your customers, because some things can be seen as
manipulation,
as information that's insider information, really.
I know.
And can be used to invest or not, and you have to provide similar access to all data to all potential investors, and that's so then it kind of it creates this this huge difficulty to to communicate with clients, with team members, when you have to pretty much everything you say you have to consult first with some external company. So that's the biggest issue for me. But still, I feel like all the pros that come with the stock exchange outweigh the cons that are related. Yeah, but you have to be aware that going public opens you up to some challenges in terms of communication, and some personal challenges on just some people who are unhappy with how you run the company.
Yeah, I think thanks for, first of all, for your honesty, right, on that, because I know always, again, this involves many much of emotions, as you said, when you're kind of like circling back to these events, that people blame you, right, for all the losses. In fact, these are their own losses, and people tend to generally blame the world outside rather than themselves. So that kind of like sucks big time, but that's how it is. And again, the very last question that I personally need to ask you, and that I think would also interest many people. I myself, I'm an influencer on Twitter, right? Just as yes, like you are, and and I'm, for me, being the influencer on the crypto Twitter, right? On the crypto, I would say, again, currency part of a Twitter, no matter how we call that, crypto Twitter, CT. I'm very curious to know, the ways that Brand24, the service, the media monitoring, can be used to measure the analysis. For example, you are like regarding the cryptocurrency terms such as Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, right, like hashtags, and so on and so forth. Like, first of all, did you guys ever work with any crypto influencers on this basis? Or because I'm here, I'm sold. I'm definitely getting in, right?
Appreciate it. Yeah, we do have a lot of maybe a lot would be an over promise in some extent, but I would say that we have a substantial number, dozens of crypto investors use Brand24 just to stay on top of the conversation about the companies that they follow. So with crypto, things change fast. So having a fast access to the data, specifically with automated sentiment analysis and automated reach analysis, because we also analyze the reach. So you don't only get a list of links or a list of mentions for a company that you follow, but you also track the reach. So if this is a New York Times talking about and talking positively about one of your investments or companies, or about one of the companies that you consider investing in, that's probably likely that the price of their stock will go up. So So, being able to tap into this information fast seems like a pretty good application for our product. So, yeah, there's again dozens of people who use our product on a daily basis. Again, it's free to try, so it's you can obviously test it for free without to test whether it brings any value, of whether for your brand it collects a complete data. But yeah, it feels like with the fast changing landscape, having a additional somebody, even AI, to keep track of things makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, with that having heard from Mike, and with all that we've just shared, today on this great show, with the main VIP, legendary, special, inspiring guest that Mike SADOWSKI is of Brand24, the CEO and the founder, we are going to make sure
I'm so sending this to my wife. Look,
yes, you will.
I'll say, look.
Look,
People
yeah,
like
very
me.
good. That's
Why?
true, man. That's true. That's fucking true. And I gotta tell you again, when I'm just passing through Wrocław, I'll make sure to to catch up with you at any time you wish.
Let's take
for
a
the
selfie with kebab together.
exactly
That
for a
sounded like
kebab.
some sort of a sexual term, like selfie with kebab. But no,
Jesus
we both
Christ,
like
yeah.
we both like kebabs. So
Yeah, we like kebabs for sure. Yeah, Mike, I'm so grateful for being here and attending today's
Likewise.
The Nest Show podcast. You are
It was a
again
pleasure.
such a great guy. You're such a great guy for all that you do, for all the humble just person that you are, with so amazing results for you and the Brand24 as a company. And we'll make sure, guys, to get you in the description some very good discounted links to all the software serviced by Brand24. I'll make sure it happens, and I'm sold. I'm all in, right? I'm all in, guys. I truly appreciate your time. Truly appreciate all your guys viewing.
Thanks, man.
Make sure to leave thumbs up and comment what do you think about the content today, and let's stay up to date with the next show for the next episode. It was Adrian and Mike SADOWSKI of Brand24. That's it, guys. Peace out.
Take care. Thank you.
I'd like to thank our listeners for joining this episode of The Nest Show. If you've appreciated the depth and breadth of what you've heard with us today, subscribe to our podcast and find our landing page at thebirbnest.com. We have a vibrant Discord community which acts as our central hub of operations, and we welcome you to join us at thebirbnest.com/discord. We also offer an extensive free bulletin on emerging crypto market trends, exclusive undervalued gem reports, and in-depth expert technical and fundamental analysis at thebirbnest.com/bulletin. We always appreciate engagement from our community, which of course means liking the video and subscribing to our page, where we insist on bringing you the highest quality content available. Also, we're happy to incorporate tips and topics from our listeners and encourage you to email us at thenestshow@thebirbnest.com. This podcast is brought to you by the Birb Nest. Thank you, and trade on.